Hi guys, how are you today? Hope you're doing well. I know this lockdown has started to get your nerves, but I think we need to try to make each and every day very productive. So let's not waste another day and let's focus on today's lesson. Okay, today's lesson is for general IELTS student and we are going to focus only on task 1, the basic of task 1. We will discuss it thoroughly in next video, but today's it's like how to start it, how to start the letter and how to close the letter and how many types of letters we can get in your IELTS test. So we are going to focus only on these things. So let's start the video. Okay, types of letter. Well, basically there are three types: formal letter, semi-formal letter, and informal letter. Formal letter you write maybe to your employer, maybe you write to a bank, a supermarket, store. It could be in the form of request. It could be in the form of making a complaint. And the second one, semi-formal letter. Third, informal. You must remember that for each type of letter, there is a certain type of language you must use to make sure you get your desired bands. Okay, so we will discuss three types in a little bit more detail in further slides. Okay, the first one, formal letter. Requesting information from a company, applying for a job, complaining to a store, or making a recommendation. So in these kind of letters, you probably don't know the person to whom you are going to write the letter, and maybe they are at superior level than you, right? So you have to use formal language. You can't show a friendly approach. You can't show that kind of emotional touch, something like that. There's a certain language you are asked to use. Second one is semi-formal letter. So it's a mixture of informal as well as formal letter. You can't be too friendly and you don't have to be too formal in your conversation. Maybe you have to write a letter to your landlord. Maybe something is broken at your house and you need that the landlord to fix it, and explaining to a neighbor. And maybe one of your neighbor is creating some sort of problem, maybe unintentionally, so you have to write a letter to him. Asking a professor for permission, so these types fall in semi-formal letter. So you have to understand that you can't use pure formal language in semi-formal type. Then the last one is informal. Informal means you are going to write maybe to your friends, maybe you're apologizing to a friend, relative, maybe you need to take some sort of advice from a friend or relative. And mostly in informal letters, the person. Maybe, you're going away on a holiday and you need someone to look after your house. So you can, expect from the people, So this is basically for friends and for relatives. So you are supposed to use informal language. For example, hey, hi, how are you? You can write down. There is no problem. Now we will see opening and closing. So how do we open our letter? Well, if it is formal letter, you have to just start by writing dear sir or dear madam. You don't have to write anything else. You don't have to worry about the name of the person to whom you are going to write. You don't have to be very imaginary, in your writing. If it's formal letter, just stick to the facts and just open it by writing dear sir and dear madam or dear madam. And closing, so you just write them here faithfully, and whatever your name is, you're faithfully. You don't have to memorize or remember anything else than here faithfully. It's for formal letter. Then semi-formal letter. For semi-formal letter, you know the person, but you are not that close to that person. You don't you can't expect much from that person. So it means you know the person little bit, so you can use their last name. For example, dear Mr. Brown, dear Mrs. Verma, Mrs. Sharma, whatever the name of that person. So you can use their last name, right? However, you can't use their first name, because you can't be that informal in your letter. So you have to stick to dear, whatever their last name is. And closing, you don't have to remember anything else than your sincerely. right? For formal, it's you're faithfully, and for semi-formal, you're sincerely. That would work. Okay, the last one for informal, opening and closing. Informal, dear Sam, dear Jasmine. As I have explained to you earlier, that you can be formal, informal, because you're going to write down the person who know you well, with whom you have a great you share a good bond. Sorry, so you can use your first name. Actually, you are asked to use your first name. That's kind of an unsaid requirement in a task one, if it is in the form of informal letter. So dear Sam, dear Jasmine, dear whatever the name is. And closing, best regards, warm wishes. There are many other expressions which you can use, but I don't think so you have to remember each and every thing for closing your letter. Just remember these two. That would work. So this is the basic information which I think will be beneficial for you. I'm coming very soon with a detailed video on task 1, for general task 1. So you would have more clear idea how to explain your letter, how to explain the bullet points, so which would really be helpful for you. So I hope you like this video. Please subscribe the channel, share it, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.